Okay, we'll continue with Larson chapter 4 section 1, and what we're trying to do here is find the indefinite integrals of each of these from 21 through 28, and we're going to begin to apply in some of these problems some of the simplifying rewriting techniques that we saw in earlier exercises. So let's get a start on these. So number 21, we have integral x to the 3/2 plus 2x plus 1. Remember that 1 really means 1x to the 0 power. So we'll do each term individually. X to the 3/2, add 1 to the exponent, is x to the 5/2. Divide by 5/2, which is the same as multiplying by 2/5. Next, 2x is going to be 2x to the 2nd power, divided by 2 is x squared. Then 1x to the 0 increased by 1 will be 1x to the 1st over 1, and that's simply plus x, and don't forget the plus c. Number 22. For number 22, we're going to do some rewriting. And so the square root of x we'll rewrite as x to the 1/2, and 1 over 2 times the square root of x will be 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 power, and then a dx. So we're going to rewrite that first, and then we'll just do the integrals of each term individually. So x to the 1/2 becomes x to the 3/2 over 3/2, which is the same as multiplying by 2/3 x to the 3/2. Then x to the negative 1/2 is going to become x to the 1/2 divided by 1/2. It's the same as multiplying by 2, and so that one will simply become x to the 1/2 and plus c. And we're done with that. Number 23. Number 23, again with a rewrite. Rational exponents are power over root, so we'd rewrite that as x to the 2 over 3 dx, increase by 1 or 3/3, and we'll get x to the 5/3 divided by 5/3 or multiplied by 3/5 x to the 5/3 plus c. Number 24. Again with a rewrite, the 4th root of x to the 3rd would be written as x to the power over root, would be x to the 3 over 4 plus 1 dx, and that's going to become x to the 7/4 times 4/7, so 4/7 x to the 7/4, and simply plus x to the 1st over 1, which would be x plus c. Alright, the next one. Number 25. Number 25 would rewrite as x to the negative 3rd dx, increased by 1, which would be x to the negative 2nd over negative 2, and so that'll be negative 1/2 x to the negative 2nd plus c. Number 26. You have integral x to the, we'll rewrite as integral x to the negative 4th dx, and so that would be x to the negative 3rd over negative 3, or negative 1/3 x to the negative 3rd plus c. Number 27. Alright, for number 27, what we're going to need to do first is the way to simplify this. It looks scary the way it is there. We're just going to simply divide each term in the numerator by square root of x, and then separate each of them. So we're going to have 27 is going to be written as x squared over square root of x. So I'll write them all out first. X squared over x to the 1/2 then plus x over x to the 1/2 plus 1 over x to the 1/2 dx. And so x to the second is really x to the 4/2 over x to the 1/2, so that would be integral x to the 3/2 plus integral plus x to the 2/2 over 1/2, which is x to the 1/2, and finally plus x to the negative 1/2 dx. And so this is all going to come out to be x to the 5/2 over 5/2, or 2/5 x to the 5/2 plus x to the 3/2 over 3/2, or 2/3 x to the 3/2, then x to the 1/2 divided by 1/2, or 2x to the 1/2, then plus c. Alright, so we have one more to do here, and that is number 28. This time I won't write it all down. We'll do the simplifying as we go along. So x squared over x to the 4th is x to the negative 2nd. Then 2x over x to the 4th is going to be plus 2x to the negative 3rd. Then minus 3x to the negative 4th dx. So x to the negative 2nd becomes x to the negative 1 over negative 1, or negative x to the negative 1. We'll leave it that way. Plus 2 x to the negative 2nd over negative 2, which would be now minus x to the negative 2nd. And x to the negative 4th is going to become x to the negative 3rd over negative 3. And since we're already multiplying by negative 3, we're going to get plus x to the negative 3rd power and plus c. All right? And so that's going to do it for 21 through 28. We'll go on to the next set of exercises in the next video.